In the last couple of videos, we've set up this table and then made it to where we can go and view all of our expenses, but either way, they use the same table component, and they've got just 3 columns right now. If I go to the finished code, however, you can see we've got 5 different columns. That's what I want to add this time around. A link to whatever budget happens to be connected to that expense, and then a way to delete that individual expense. So all that is done in this table component right here. So if I command and click, it should open it right up. Now, the very first thing I want to do is add another column in the header area. So that would be right here. We'll say budget. And then I want to add one more that's just going to be empty. So we'll have 5 items, and each of these will be part of the table headers. So if I save this and come over here, you can see I've got that. And eventually we'll have one more when there's actual data to show below it. Now, the other thing I need to do is then come into my expense item. So I'll command click into that and actually show one more thing as well. So let's go ahead and just copy this down for now. And now you can see it says budget, where it really should be listing out a link to the actual budget itself. Now, we don't actually have access to this right now. We just have the expense, but the expense does have a property called budget ID. And we can use that to look up the actual budget. Now, if we were just linking to it, that would actually be enough because eventually we are going to create a route for each of the budget IDs. That's a dynamic route. In this case, I actually also want to show the color of whatever it happens to be. Again, if I come over to the finished code, and I come over here and let's add, first of all, another budget. So something for whatever, all right, like that. Now I can come in here and let's add another one, whatever this happens to be and whatever this happens to be. And now you can see I actually get a different color because it is a different budget. And it's nice to kind of be able to see that. So if I want to get that, I actually have to go fetch the budget itself, then look on the budget and figure out what its color property happens to be. So we're going to do that right over here. And I need to write a helper function that will allow me to get whatever the budget is. So we'll eventually do that, and it's going to be called get all matching items because we're going to use this on several different things, and we want it to be able to take in 3 things: a category. This category for us in this case will always be budgets, but we'll use this this function somewhere else as well, so this should work. The key, which is the actual thing we should be looking at, which is we want the budget's ID. And what I want to find is any budget that has the same ID as the value of expense.budgetID. Now, this shouldn't make a lot of sense yet, but hopefully it will as we get going. So let me go ahead and write this function, then I'll walk you through it. So I'll come over here, let's open up our helpers, and maybe let's just come right here. So let's write a little note here that says get all items from local storage, something like that. And let's export this. And here I want to take in up to 3 things here: a category, a key, and a value. Those are the things we just passed in a moment ago. And what I want to do is, first of all, fetch all my data. So const data equals fetch data. And what I want to fetch is whatever category I've passed in. So if there's nothing there, once again, I'm just going to get back an empty array. That's what I want. So if this is either null or undefined, it should just pass along an empty array. Then what I want to do is return my data.filter, and I want to look at each of the items so that I can use that key dynamically here. I can use this bracketed syntax to look at the key and just say, does it equal the value? So let me save this and let me jump over here and then I'll talk you through this. So I'll do the little backspace trick and it should pull that in right there. So let's see, get all matching items. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the expense that's been passed into this item, which should be anything basically in this row. So all the things in this row, one of the items that comes with an expense is the budget ID. That's connected. Let's go back to our actual one right here. It's connected whenever I create a new expense. Now in this case, I only have one. So once again, let's just, I don't know, do something and then add something. So now I can see it's connected to this right here. So this will actually assign it that value of whatever the budget ID is. So I should have access to that. What I'm doing then is calling this function and telling it, hey, I want you to look underneath the budgets. So look at all those local storage items. And the key I want you to look at in that collection is the ID. And I want to see whichever one matches my budget ID. So in other words, that's the budget I want. Pass that whole thing back to me. Now, because we're get all matching items, if I come back over this way, you're going to see that this is going to be a filter, which means I'll get everything back in an array. Now, this will be important for some other times where we use this. So in this one case, what I'm going to do is just on the end of this, since I only should have one come back that should match that budget, I should only have the first thing in here that I actually want. So this will actually give me access to that budget. All that to say, now I should have access to this budget. And if I console log this and come over this way, and let's open up the console, I should get all of these written back here as objects. And you can see I'm actually getting the budgets themselves as they're listed out below. Okay, so that's what I'm actually getting. Now what I want to do is create a link to the budget page that we will eventually create in a future video. So I'm going to come inside here, and I want this to be a link. So React router DOM, just like that. The actual value of this should be the budget that I'm currently looking at, .name. And then once again, I need to pass 2 to this. And this is going to be dynamic depending on what the budget is. So this will be my budget, and eventually this will be my budget.id. So in other words, it should read out budget / like 2234, whatever dash, you know, the UUID that we created for this. So first of all, let me make sure that this link pulled in up top, and it did, so that's perfect. Let me just separate this out a bit. Now if I save it, you see here I get all of these showing up. Now once again, it's actually showing this by the accent color, so I can style it the same way we did earlier. So let's space this out just a bit, and here I'll say style. In this case, I decided to set it up as accent, and here we'll say style. For some reason, in this case, I did not set up a separate variable that scoped to this. I just changed the accent, which is probably what I should have done on both of those, but either way, I can pass in the budget.color, and it should take that on. So if I save it, there you go, it takes on these colors. That means if I were to add another one, so let's come up here and add a one for this one, something, add the expense, it should show up right here, and you see it's picking up that color, which is exactly what I want. So we've got one of the columns set and ready to go. Next, I need to add one more table data row where I have that form. So table data where I have that form. So table data like this, and inside here, even though this might be a little bit odd because it's just a single button, but I'm going to actually submit a form through this that will then take some kind of action. Now we've got two options. Once again, we can use a form from React Router DOM, or we can also use a fetcher. Now you might remember one of the benefits of a fetcher.form is that I can submit multiples at the same time. So if there's a delay, like accessing your database, and perhaps you send one request, the person clicks down this list multiple times and just deletes a bunch in a row, maybe they come back out of order and then your data can be out of sync. So it's helpful to use the fetcher because it can submit multiples at the same time, and it will bundle them together and basically send out one request. And on top of that, it can handle them, whereas a form can only handle one at a time. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to come up top here, and we'll just say const fetcher from use fetcher. So let's grab this fetcher right here. We'll say this needs to be fetcher.form. And once again, I need to pass it a method, and this is just going to be post. And we're really just going to have one visible thing, which is our button. But remember, on all of these, I want to make sure that I have an input with a type of hidden. The name, once again, will be _action. The value here will be delete expense. Now the trouble here is I'm going to delete the expense, but I have yet to actually pass in a value anywhere. So there's kind of two ways you can handle this. First of all, you can create another hidden input that has the name of, like, I don't know, expense ID or something like that, and then change the name here to be expense.id. So in other words, I'm going to get two things that get passed on this form. One tells me what to do with it. The other one gives me the actual data ID that I need to delete. So that's one way to do it. But this might seem a little bit weird, but do you know that on buttons, they can actually have names themselves. So I could actually add the expense ID directly on here as well. I think just to make it a little bit clearer, I won't do that, but just so you know, you've got that as an option as well. So let me come down here and we'll say type equals submit. And I'll do class name here and say button and button warning. And finally, because this is just a button, it's important to say what this does. So we'll add an ARIA label here that says something like delete. And then let's go ahead and pass it the expense.name for this individual row expense. So we know exactly what we're deleting. All right, so if I save that, we should be set to go. I need to actually add some text inside of here. Well, not some text. I need to add an icon. For that, we're going to use the trash icon from React or from Hero Icons. So if I do that, we'll say the width is 20. Once again, like we've been doing all along. And I just want to make sure that that pulled in up top. It should have, because I see it over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify this as a library import. And now we've got this displaying like we'd want. So we've got this button, and it should have an ARIA label that says exactly which expense we're deleting. We've also got these right here, and if I click into here, you'll see we've got budget and then whatever the ID of the budget is. So right now, obviously, this isn't working yet because we haven't set up that route, but it is linking to it properly. Now, if I click on this, I don't actually have a way to handle this. So it's basically saying, hey, you know, you haven't handled this, so let's go ahead and take care of that as well. So for right now, we're going to leave this budget link alone. We don't have to worry about that. Let me go back to the home page right here, though. We should be able to click down here and view all expenses. And notice when I come to my expense item down here in the form, we haven't actually submitted this anywhere, because whether it's on this page or whether it's on the expenses page, or frankly, whether it's on an individual budgets page, I want it just to submit to that page. Then I can handle the action on that page. Of course, it should be the same for all of those, but just so we're clear, that's how we would do this. So let's go ahead and start with the dashboard page since we've already got an action for that. So I'll come over here to the dashboard page, come up here to my actions, and here we go. Let's add another one. So in this case, I need to look for a different kind of action. This would be, what was it, delete expense, I think? Delete expense. Let's just double check. So if I come over here, delete expense, yeah. All right, and then I actually need to get the expense ID and use that to delete it. So I'll come back over to the dashboard, and here I'm going to say expense, whatever it happens to be, deleted. And here I'm going to say expense, and in this case, I'm not going to say what the name is. We'll just say expense deleted. All right, and maybe we'll straighten these quotes out like that. Okay, so we've got that. Otherwise, we'll say there was a problem deleting your expense. Now we need to actually do something besides create an expense. We want to delete an expense. So let's open back up our helpers file over here. And we've created a budget. We've done all this stuff. Let's go ahead and delete an item. We'll leave a note for ourselves here. This is delete item from local storage. And then let's go ahead and export a new function called delete item. Now we could compress some of these functions a little bit more, but I'm trying to make them more readable than I am like super compressed. So if you want to do that, go for it. All right, you can let me know what you did. First thing I want to do is go ahead and grab any existing data for whatever key I've passed in. So we'll say existing data equals, we'll look at our fetch data function, and we'll pass in our key. Then what we'll say is if the ID that we've passed in as the second argument here, if that exists, so in other words, if we pass that in, then we can go ahead and say, let's grab our new data is the existing data. We're going to filter out then, looking at each item, anything that says item.id does not equal the ID. So I guess it's not filtering out, it's more like filtering in. So what we're doing is saying, as long as it doesn't have the ID we passed in, keep it, all right, in an array. Then I will return local storage.set item. We'll set it to the key, and that will be json.stringify the new data. Now, if there is no ID that's come in, I simply want to return the local storage.remove item, and I'm just going to remove the entire key. Now, it looks like it's saying here I've already declared this, so let's look. Delete item. Yeah, look at that. There I have. All right, so all I have to do is update that. Sorry, I didn't see that at first. So where's all the stuff we just did? All right, so we should be able to just take all of this right here and basically, well, actually, this should still work because all we did before was just return or remove item. So let's go ahead and come down here to this one and just get out of here. All right, so now this should still work the same. I think that what we were using this for was deleting stuff when we deleted the user, but all that would do, since we're just passing in a key in that instance, is it should just remove that directly. So let's go ahead and test that theory and see if that's how we did it. Yeah, it looks like it. All right, so if I come back in here, actually, let's just double check. Right inside here. Yep, it's all gone. Okay, so that was working. Now all we have to do is recreate everything we just did. So not the smartest move I've ever done. So groceries, I don't know, something like that. And let's create something so that we've got an item here. Okay, cool. So now if we click on this, what we want to do is actually trigger this dashboard item right here. So in this case, we're not going to create an expense. We want to delete an item. So if I enter on that, it should pull it in up top. Let's just double check that that's what it's done. Delete item. Okay, perfect. Now I've got a couple things I can pass in. One would be a key that I need to do. So in this case, the key is always going to be expenses. Now, if I don't want to delete the entire array, I need to make sure I pass an ID like this, do values.expense ID. Now, where am I getting that expense ID from? Well, you might remember over here that in addition to the button and this action, we had this other thing here, this other hidden input with expense ID on it. And again, you could add that to the button instead if you want to add the name and the value down here, but some people don't like to do that. So while we've already got a hidden type, let's add another one. Okay, so it should actually grab this, grab the expense ID, and that will be the ID it passes in when it tries to delete something right here. All right, so let's try it and see if it works. If I click here, there we go, expense deleted. Now let me add a couple of these, just one right after the other. We'll go as fast as we can with that delay, and that way you can see something else, which is each of these are going to take a little bit of delay because of that fake delay we set up earlier. But now that I'm using the fetcher, I can just click these multiple times and they'll be fine. They'll just get removed when they want to, and it can handle all of that because I'm using the fetcher.form. All right, so we've got that set up and ready to go. That's great, but if I add some more in here, and I eventually go over to the expenses page, You can see if I click on here, it's going to submit it to this page, but I don't yet have anything set up. So it says, hey, this is not allowed. So we need to actually set up the exact same thing over there. So let me go ahead and grab this right here. And in this case, it's the only action we're going to do, but I might as well set it up in the same kind of way. So we'll go to our expenses page right here, and I need to create an action. So we've got a loader. Let's now create an action. Here we'll export a function called expenses action. We should be able to use the same basic thing. I'll need to import a toast and this delete item, but the first thing I need to do is actually to get the data from the form. So if I jump back over here to the dashboard, you might remember a long time ago we did that by actually looking at the request and grabbing all the data right here. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here. Jump over here, let's destructure the request. Oh, that's the loader right here, the request. And in order to await this, we need to async this, which also is the same thing we probably should be doing here because usually you'd be hitting some kind of database. So just to remind you that if you wanted to do that, you'd have to do something like that. Now in this case, it's local storage, so it shouldn't really matter too much. But here we go. We're going to grab the action. That's what we're going to loop over and look at. And then all the rest of the values are going to come along with it. Now we do need to import this delete item. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll backspace and enter that. And then I need to make sure this toast comes in as well from React Toastify. So let me make sure I got all that correct. Looks like I've got my delete item. That's good. Let's go ahead and add this as a library import. And now this should work if I did all my homework correctly. So let's go back to our expenses. Now I can submit here. Wait, can you think of a problem that's going to happen? Yes, I created this action, but I've yet to actually pull this into the app. So before we mess that up, let's come over here to the app. And now let's see, right here, we also need an action. And this will just be expenses action. So now this should work. And if I come back up top here, that should have pulled this in, expenses action. Okay, so if I click here, it should go ahead and delete it. And now just say no expenses to show because we've deleted all of them, which was that little turn area we set up right here where it'll say no expenses to show if there are no expenses. Okay, so we come back here. We've handled that on both of those different individual routes. All right, let me go ahead and add one more expense in just so I can show you what else we have to do. So we've created this delete button. Now what we need to do is create the route so that when I click on this, it actually shows something for each individual budget. That's what we'll work on in the next video.